Whispers spread like fire through dry grass. Traders paused mid. Mothers clutched children closer. Elders exchanged sharp glances. Fingers pointed subtly, eyes flicked toward the center of the crowd. All attention turned to the man standing tall and proud. A hush fell, thick as smoke, as tension coiled through every gathering. A faint murmur rose, questioning and fearful. He has sent away his wife and daughters. For a son, someone whispered. He cannot see the good in what he has, another muttered, voice sharp with disbelief. Traders leaned closer, voices dropping to conspiratorial tones. A male heir, one said. That is all he wants. Nothing else matters. Some villagers nodded approvingly, fists raised in support. He honors tradition, they said. Others shook heads, warning with heavy tones. Pride will bring disaster, one cautioned, voice trembling with conviction. A commanding voice cut through the chatter, rising above every whisper and shout. I want a son. My wife and daughters mean nothing. The words thundered, leaving no room for argument. The crowd froze. Children peeked from behind baskets. Elders shook their heads, their faces etched with disbelief. A woman moved with quiet determination, hands trembling but steady. She gathered what little she could carry. Two young ones followed, small bundles pressed to their chests, their heads held high despite fear and sorrow. He cannot see the good in what he has, a voice echoed, shaking the stillness. Some murmured agreement, some clutched their hearts in grief. Others cheered his adherence to old ways, proud of the tradition he upheld. The crowd tensed, sensing the rift between pride and love, between tradition and compassion. Eyes darted between the departing figures and the one left behind. A storm of anger and regret simmering in silence. Life resumed, the market's rhythm returning, but the whispers lingered. Dry leaves rustled with unseen winds, carrying the murmurs of fate. Every step away seemed to echo into the future, and the crowd knew that a reckoning had already begun. I will have a son to carry my name. The words thundered through the village. Authority wrapped around each syllable, sharp and unyielding. Eyes widened and a hush fell. No one dared challenge the voice, though whispers flared at the edges. Obsession burned brighter than reason, and pride filled every step. She moved with quiet determination, hands steady as she completed the tasks of the day. Fingers worked with care, weaving, cooking, tending, teaching. We have given him love, yet he sees only what he wants. A voice murmured softly, trembling with worry but anchored in resolve. A small figure clung close, listening, learning. Stay close. Watch and learn, little one. Guidance came gently, firm yet protective. Questions bubbled up, curious and innocent. Seeking answers in the rhythm of daily life, laughter once danced through the air. Echoes of small feasts, shared smiles, teasing words and playful nudges. Warmth had been constant, a simple joy. You will spill the pot again. The teasing voice called, and another answered with a laugh. The memory lingered, fragile against the storm of growing pride. Whispers rose through the village. A family without a son. How can it last? Voices carried, light as smoke, yet heavy with expectation. Tradition pressed against the heart of the home, unrelenting, demanding a legacy measured by one gender alone. Steps grew sharper, pacing relentless. They will obey me or they will leave. Words repeated like a drumbeat of authority. Obsession hardened into hubris, and the family felt the weight of vulnerability in every glance. A voice of caution cut through the tension. A man who cannot see value in his daughters invites disaster. The warning fell like stones on hardened ground, met with scorn and laughter. Pride would not bend. Wisdom went unheeded. Decisive hands gathered small bundles, eyes steady and resolute. We will go to my family's land until he sees reason. Courage shone, quiet but unbreakable, threading through every motion. The young ones followed, small steps measured and strong, keeping their heads high. Keep your head high. We will survive. A gentle command urged, and it was heeded. Eyes watched from above, pride clashing with frustration, every movement weighed and measured. They will return. Or regret leaving me, words whispered under tension. Unspoken fear mingling with stubbornness. A shadow moved at the edges, silent and observing, unseen yet present. Every step noted, every glance remembered. The figure remained still, patient, hinting at forces unseen, intervention unseen. Destiny weaving its subtle threads. Whispers followed along the dusty paths. Some voices carried pity, some judgment, some hope. The departure stirred more than dust. It set events in motion, planting seeds of survival, courage, and eventual reckoning. Each step forward echoed with possibility, and the journey had begun. A careful hand selected the spot, steady eyes measuring each tree and hollow. Small bundles carried, the ground cleared with patient effort. We must make this home safe and strong. The forest is our shield, a voice instructed. The young ones nodded, following each step, learning the rhythm of survival. Whispers traveled beyond the trees, reaching ears that listened like wind through dry grass. The chief's pride will bring misfortune. He is blind to what he has lost, voices murmured. Shadows of curses and arrogance threaded through every word. Carrying caution as tradition demanded, hands worked together, gathering firewood, fetching water, learning the careful balance of necessity and safety. Mother, will he ever regret this? A small voice asked, timid yet searching. He cannot see beyond his pride. We survive, we thrive, came the firm reply, anchoring courage in young hearts. Hunger pressed lightly at first, then sharply. Foraging became careful calculation. Hunting small game, a lesson in patience. A sudden hiss froze hearts. A flash of venom, a snap of movement, and the danger passed. Quick steps, steady breath, lessons learned without harm. The forest stretched endlessly, green and shadowed, demanding respect. Questions lingered, yet obedience followed. The forest is our teacher. Watch, listen, and act, the guidance repeated. Eyes widened, ears sharpened, hands steady as children absorbed each lesson. A shadow lingered at the edge of vision, unseen and silent, tracking every motion. Eyes glowed faintly, a low hum threading through the air. Wisdom unseen, power subtle, intentions hidden yet protective. Small bundles of herbs appeared overnight. Charms left at the edge of camp, whispered advice carried on wind and rustling leaves. The teachings were simple yet potent. Respect the forest, honor its dangers, use its gifts. Each item a talisman, each ritual movement a promise of safety. Dreams grew restless in a distant compound. Shadows flickered, footsteps echoed, and whispers of arrogance haunted sleep. The proud figure stirred, unsettled. The curse is coming. His pride has blinded him, the murmurs confirmed. Spreading unease among those who watched. Illness struck the prized animals, sudden and unexplained. Lifeless bodies fell, the air heavy with judgment. Gossip grew sharp, voices carrying fear and disbelief. The shadow of supernatural consequence stretching long. Courage took form in action. Be brave, think carefully, and trust each other. Return safely, the instructions came, deliberate and unwavering. Small feet moved quickly, skill and intelligence guiding each step. The mission was dangerous yet necessary, a test of growth and courage. Steps followed careful trails, eyes darting to shadows, ears straining for whispers. Tiny hands handled tools, observed movements, learned navigation. The invisible guide moved subtly, ensuring safety without interference. Magic woven like threads in the air, the heart of the forest held secrets, lessons, and warnings. Survival strengthened spirits, teaching independence, patience, and resilience. Each obstacle faced prepared for the future where pride and tradition would clash with courage and wisdom. Shadows lingered, unseen but present, promising that the journey had only begun. Drums rose like thunder, calling every ear and stirring every heart. Voices shouted, traders beckoned, laughter and song wove through the crowd. Bright colors flashed with movement, each step alive with energy. Excitement mingled with whispers, soft but sharp. The chief's pride has led him astray, voices murmured. The cattle, the crops, all undone. A figure moved with chest high and steps measured, pride clashing with unease. All will see my strength. Yet some rumors trouble me. The words broke through the hum, quiet but heavy, carrying the weight of tension. Eyes scanned faces, searching for loyalty, for challenge, for recognition of authority. From the gathered crowd, another presence emerged, steady and unshaken. Steps measured, confidence clear, small hands guiding smaller ones close. Stay close. Today, we show them who we are. The words passed softly, firm in purpose. Eyes met eyes as the crowd parted, murmurs rising like wind through dry grass. They return, and look so strong, voices whispered. Children leaned closer. Elders exchanged glances thick with understanding. A voice rose, ringing sharp and true. You chased us for a son, but see what your pride has brought you? Look around. Silence fell. Whispers stilled, breath held, tension thick as smoke. The failures, the lost cattle, the failing crops, all told a story the proud could no longer deny. Voices muttered warnings, tales of pride and unseen justice threading through the crowd. A shadow moved at the edge, subtle and steady, signaling that balance had been restored. Guidance had worked in silence, aid unseen yet undeniable. The family's survival was not chance. It was woven by unseen hands, by tradition and wisdom older than memory. Shock replaced arrogance, eyes widening in sudden understanding. I never saw. What have I done? The words fell low, heavy with disbelief. Shoulders slumped, head bowed, the weight of pride broken by the truth of loss. Small steps came forward, firm and unafraid. Courage and wisdom are more valuable than blind pride. The voice rang steady as a drumbeat. Another followed, echoing softly yet clearly. And love cannot be measured by sons alone. Approval spread like fire through the crowd. Nod after nod, murmurs of praise. Respect restored for those who had shown courage, resilience, and vision. The once proud figure stepped forward, words chosen with care. I have been blind. May I learn from you all? Humility replaced arrogance. Apology replacing decree. The community leaned in, listening, acknowledging, forgiving, tempered by lessons learned. The drums rose again, laughter threading through renewed harmony. Celebration continued, but with a different rhythm. Family reunited, pride tempered, respect deepened. Lessons whispered through every voice. Courage, wisdom, and love endure. And the weight of arrogance is heavy for all to bear. Voices rose softly through the village, carrying respect and awe. They have shown wisdom and bravery beyond their years. Murmurs spread among elders and neighbors. Children leaned closer, wide-eyed, learning that courage could be quiet yet powerful. And that strength often came wrapped in patience and cleverness. A figure stepped forward, shoulders bowed but eyes clear. I was blinded by pride. I see now the value of my family. Words echoed across the square, carrying humility and regret. Heads nodded, some slowly, cautious and wary, others with relief. Sensing the long overdue lesson taking root, small steps returned to village paths. Daily life resumed, measured and careful. Be patient. Trust will take time to grow, a voice whispered to the younger one. Small hands clutched tightly, hearts learning the rhythm of forgiveness and the slow mending of bonds. Each action mattered, helping neighbors, listening, speaking gently, observing, and earning respect through deeds. Elders' voices carried through quiet corners. A family's worth is measured by love, respect, and unity, not by sons alone. Murmurs of agreement passed from lips to lips. The community absorbed the lesson. The wisdom of balance, threading through each heart. The family moved steadily back into familiar spaces, greeted with cautious bows and quiet acknowledgement. Children played in close circles, laughter threading through careful smiles. Elders watched with approving eyes, and a subtle harmony returned. Fragile yet promising. Hands worked alongside one another, repairing fences, tending fields, sharing burdens. I have learned my lesson. Pride destroys. Humility restores. Words passed quietly but firmly. Actions confirming truth. Respect grew naturally, not demanded, flowing from effort, reflection, and renewed commitment. Shadows of past pain lingered. A quiet reminder of mistakes made, but they were softened by strength and wisdom gained. Together, the family stood united, cautious yet confident. Teaching and learning through each shared moment, the village celebrated in small ways, children helping elders, neighbors offering greetings, smiles exchanged without pride or judgment. Courage and unity were honored quietly yet unmistakably. The community embraced equality, learning that respect was earned through deeds, that love measured worth more than tradition's rigid rules, and that even the proud could be humbled by the power of wisdom. Courage and resilience? A voice rose above the crowd, steady and strong, calling for attention. Listen, all of you. The tale of this family carries lessons we cannot ignore. Whispers stilled as all eyes turned, ears open to the wisdom carried through the words. The rhythm of the drums softened, yielding to the weight of the elder's voice. Pride and obsession can destroy even the strongest bonds, the voice continued. Recounting the arrogance that had driven a man to cast aside those he should have cherished, recognition spread through the villagers. Nods met murmurs. He could not see the value before him. Came whispers from elders and neighbors alike. Understanding the cost of blind pride, attention shifted as courage was honored. See how courage, intelligence, and resilience overcame injustice, the voice proclaimed, pointing toward the family who had endured. Young eyes widened with admiration, and whispers of respect and wonder flowed among children and youth. They walked with strength when fear could have broken them, someone murmured, and heads nodded in agreement. Values beyond tradition were held up for all to see. True legacy is measured by respect, love, and wisdom, not just sons, the voice reminded the crowd. Reflections settled over the villagers. Some smiled, understanding the weight of the lesson. Others pondered quietly, minds turning over past judgments, recognizing the hidden harm of rigid expectations. A call to action followed. Let us honor fairness and value all equally in the days ahead, came the next command, gentle yet firm. Villagers murmured agreement. Hands reached out to help neighbors, small gestures weaving the fabric of renewed unity. Respect began to flow naturally, no longer forced but earned through observation and reflection. Families turned inward, considering their own hearts. We must learn from them. Our pride can wait, came whispered conversations, children listening, elders nodding in silent acknowledgement. Lessons carried quietly from one home to another, growing in strength as they passed from mind to mind. In the background, the family stood together, subtly united. Their presence spoke of reconciliation earned through courage, patience, and wisdom. Shadows of past pain lingered lightly but were softened by strength, regained and respect restored. The final words rang clear and enduring. May these lessons guide our village for generations to come. Heads lifted. Eyes met, young and old alike, carrying the weight and promise of understanding. Pride humbled, wisdom honored, courage celebrated. The village held the story close, a guiding thread for the future.